I'm about to take you on a wild ride through the unexpected, unheard of, so get your wish list ready because the games on display today is something that you are going to want. My name is Slim, I'm from Sweden, and I goddamn freaking love my indie first-person shooter games, so let's do this!
3, 2, 1.
Starting off, we got something very odd, but in a good way, that is. Imagine the Germans build a base on the moon, and like in the movie Iron Sky. Yeah, take that concept, put it in a first-person shooter game, and switch out the Germans for the Soviet. I freaking love this idea. The description, it goes something like this. Apollo Red Moon is a retro sci-fi fast-paced shooter that takes place in an alternative history. As a member of the Apollo mission, after successfully landing on the moon, you were ambushed and taken prisoner by the Soviets, who has not just landed on the moon, but also built a military base on it. It seems to be taking itself quite seriously with both stealth mechanics and guns blazing, destroying Soviet structures to escape, all while keeping track of your oxygen levels. But honestly, I just can't help but think of the comedy movie Iron Sky when I see this game. Hopefully though, it's a blast. It sure looks like it could be. This just looks so goddamn freaking cool. Beneath is a heart-pounding first-person action horror adventure that takes place in the mysterious depths of the ocean. You play as a veteran deep-sea diver Noah Quinn who must escape a treacherous underwater world filled with terrors beyond imagining. I'd say to best describe this is to say that it looks like a more fast-paced modern Resident Evil set underwater. And if that doesn't have you excited, man, wowee. I mean, as we can see from the footage, it looks freakishly gorgeous. It has destructible environments, monsters that are hard to describe because they are so gross, and a story that unfolds as you play where you can control how much of it you actually want to read and listen to. And while ammo might be scarce in the game, there is multiple ways to tackle what's in front of you. Oh, and all weapons are customizable with attachments. I mean, this game just seems to go harder than freaking hell itself, and I'm very excited to play it. Gas welcomes you to post-communist Poland. A dark and gloomy atmosphere will be your best friend in here. You are alone, your comrades are already dead. You can only fight or die trying. I mean, the looks of this game alone hooked me. Dark, gritty, almost black and white looking. It's excellent. And on top of that, it's absolutely brutal. The red blood will be flying, heads will be rolling, because Gas is all about guns and the gun feel. And you will have an extensive arsenal at your disposal. Some weapons will be hidden as optional secrets, but you should by no means have mercy on your opponents. They will not have it towards you. And I just gotta mention another cool thing that the game markets itself with. That is, the traditional way of opening a locked door is by finding the key for it. And while you can do exactly that in Gas, you can also just blow up the goddamn door in front of you and voila! The door is not locked anymore. Now, Gas is also heavily inspired by classics of the first-person shooter genre, fast action, hordes of enemies, and secrets scattered throughout the levels. But despite the retro-style graphics, Gas does take advantage of the capabilities of modern graphic engines. I mean, such as advanced physics and lighting. And that, my friend, is just my jam, and why I'm very excited for this. Hey friends, I'm trying to make this YouTube thing into a full-time work someday, but you know what, I'm working really hard to make this happen in the future, and I would really appreciate any form of support, whether it be a like, a subscribe, a comment, or heck, become a member to the channel. It means the world to me. Now, if you're into co-op shooters, well, my friend, this might just be the best looking one on the horizon. Project C Beyond Order takes you to a secret German island during the World War II. On that island is where the Germans conducted experiments to create zombies as a weapon in the war. The game has a well thought out story with a story mechanic that sounds extremely interesting actually. It works something like this. Now, the missions, they belong in a story arc that can influence each other depending on the order in which you do them. As an example, a mission where you clear the island sewer system will lead to different zombie types appearing in other missions that were otherwise trapped in that sewer system. And I just think that sounds like a super cool way to implement dynamic story elements in a co-op shooter where you can pick and choose what mission you want to tackle. But this game does not stop there, friend. It's boasting some super good looking realistic graphics, a highly customizable hideout, much in the likes of the Fallout shelter building mechanic that the Fallout games are rocking. Meaning you place a structure, props, etc. and build your base how you want it. And of course in that base you can craft, upgrade and tweak certain aspects of the game. Now I gotta be honest though, I'm not one that actually loves co-op shooters. I often find them to become repetitive and quite boring really fast. That said though, this is one that is looking extremely interesting.
Some men want more power. Take back your body. Hunt your enemies.
Did you just say that you wanted more World War II themed games? Well, here comes another one. This one with an insane twist that you might not expect though. Mythic Forest Warden is an action game where you play as a forest pagan god in the World War II times. You get to use God's magic, brute force, sharp claws and Nazi weapons to drive Germans away from your land. I just love this concept, and the more I look into it, the more exciting it gets, because not only does this concept offer the powers of a freaking god at your hands, we can also use man-made weapons like the standard MP40 guns or even the MG42 heavy machine gun. And while stealth is not the main mechanic of this brutal game, it's still optional. It's there. Seeing as the forest is your home, you can use the trees for cover and sneak attack from above. Sneak around like the freaking predator himself on the branches of the trees and attack the unexpected German. Oof! The more I just talk and read about this game, the more excited I get from this fantasy World War mix. But I want to know your thoughts on it. Let me know down in the comments.
New scout. How do you like your cell, inmate?
Now, if you're a regular viewer to the channel, you know by now that I do have a weak spot for good bullet hell games. So of course, I had to include one of my most anticipated upcoming bullet hell games, Luna Abyss. A gorgeous looking first-person shooter with a deep story, insane environmental design, very reminiscent of Destiny, which is my all-time favorite first-person shooter game for various reasons that I'm not going to go into here. Now, Luna dropped a demo about a year ago. That demo was extremely underwhelming when it comes to the combat. The game was literally an auto-aiming simulation, on an extreme level that is. All you had to do was evade the enemy projectiles and fire. No aiming was required whatsoever. Now the good thing is that the game has had an updated demo. The update has both enhanced the already great visuals, deepened the already deep story and improved on the combat. So my hopes for this remains high as the freaking moon itself.
Hey, you're the new guy, right?
Since you're new here, we're gonna go over all the rules. Rule number 1, don't ask questions. This is one of the most secure buildings in the city, if not the entire country. Your job is to do what you're told.
This one has me excited for one major but very simple reason. It reminds me in a lot of ways of Control, but with a little less fantasy, more sci-fi and first person. You've never had a day quite like this before. It's your first day at a security guard for one of the most secure buildings in the city. But your first day becomes your worst day when an explosion rocks the building, blocking stairwells and disabling elevators. It is now up to you and the remaining guards that are still alive to push back and find out who's behind all of this. The Tower is a single developer game but still manages to look incredibly good and implement what seems like a story-rich campaign filled with both puzzling, some brutal action and stealth. But can the game live up to the expectations set here? Well, I'm curious to find out, that's for sure.
We interrupt this broadcast with a message from our silliest sponsor, the world's most famous toy maker.
More towers, you say? Well, of course I got you covered, worry not. This right here is a brand spanking new game from 3D Realms, not developed by them, but published by them. It's being developed by a solo developer who goes under the name of AAA Games, a genuinely cool guy with a lot of experience in the game development field. This time, however, he set out to create a 1950s, almost Bioshock-looking boomer shooter, where you get to explore an abandoned theme park filled with fairy tale mascots, and they are all out to rip your head off. But fear not, as the game offers guns, plenty of them, and all upgradable to make the head ripping just a little bit more manageable. More manageable so that you can reach that magical castle at the end of the theme park. Now I can't deny the fact that I am mad in love with this game's art style. The 1950s Bioshock theme set in a boomer shooter with tight movement, punchy, unrealistic weapons. Yeah, it's just chef's kiss. And to top it, it looks like the game will have the oh so important pace-changing aspects in it, with puzzling and platforming. And let me tell ya, I am more than ready to jump my way to the magical castle at the horizon. Did anyone say Winnie the Pooh horror game? Oh, don't worry, this is far from one of those generic, boring ones that we have seen 100 times already. This, my friend, this is 100 Acre Wood, under development by a small team containing, amongst others, Jared R. Bear, the one and only. Now, the goal of the game is to save Christopher Robin from a fate worse than one can imagine. But to do so, you have to uncover what happened in the woods, solve puzzles, platform, and both shoot and hide. It sounds to me like a very interesting mix of a lot of things that I wish to see in games. But a thing that really sticks out with the game is its visual design. It's kind of mixing cartoony graphics with realism in a way, making it to me look more horror than it otherwise would have looked. So are you down to meeting some of your beloved childhood memories in a rotten, decaying forest? Let me know down in the comments.
What do we have here?
Get ready for the most beautiful Unreal Engine 5 Wild West cyberpunk simulator you have ever seen. Exekiller aims to be an immersive shooter set a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, where everything has turned into cowboy cyberpunk. Now, I've actually kept my eyes on this since its very first reveal trailer, and it is looking good. I mean, expect a lot of dialogues, choices to be made, shooting android-like robots, vehicles, a semi-open world, character progression with augments and such that are actually obtained by the choices you make in the game and not by leveling up. Kinda like if you took Cyberpunk 2077, mixed it in with some Fallout, and voila, Exekiller is born. Two great games that I don't mind at all seeing combined. So if you don't catch the drift, this game looks freaking amazing. However, the news on this has been dry for quite some time, but fear not, it's under heavy development and the developers are simply aiming to bring us the best of the best. And to do so, my friends, time is required. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, and let's go together and check out these.